We're all dead. Humanoid detected. Humanoid detected. Destroyed.
Hey, welcome back to Game On. It's a lovely Wednesday here in Nottingham. We've been hanging out, but we came to a bit of an argument where we were talking about what we think is the best publisher come developer. We don't want to get too caught up in semantics, but basically when you put that game in, the first thing that comes up, Sega or whatever. So I'm here with Sarah and Jay, and we're going to battle it out to say who we think is the man at producing games.
Thank you, Dwiz. I'm going to kick it off with a games company, publisher, developer that's 36 years and still going strong, Capcom. From the early days in the arcades, the pinball machines, the home consoles, the handhelds, even mobile gaming. This company has been behind some of the greatest series, spanning all genres. Pretty much every single piece of hardware that's been available is also has got Capcom games on it. Platformers, beat 'em ups, shoot 'em ups, horror games, niche titles. Capcom have done the lot. I really, really think that these two are going to struggle to try and make out that who they have chosen is in some way going to get anywhere near the recognition that Capcom have. But we'll soon find out. Sarah?
Okay, look. I'm sorry, I tried to think of somebody else that I could talk about with this much enthusiasm. And you all know I am the biggest Bioware fan, and developer talk comes up, and I have to talk about Bioware. So, a relative newbie in the sense of what these guys are arguing, but that's because, I'm not as ancient as they are. Oh. So it was founded in 1995 by 3 medical doctors. So they loved gaming, and they wanted to make their own style of games. So, yeah, Capcom, you've got a broad range of titles and stuff. These are a little bit more specific in what they make, but, they make the best RPGs out there. So, yeah, Dwiz, what's cracking on your end? What you got?
Oh, come on. Well, should we just wrap it up now? Because, I had to be the one to choose Nintendo, right? There's so many reasons I could go with Nintendo and end this argument right now. But first, I'll start off with the fact that they pretty much saved the video game industry during the massive crash when, millions of ET copies were buried in the desert and all that stupid urban myth stuff. But basically, the market wasn't there. Everyone was going bankrupt. Weird little niche Japanese game company, Super Mario Brothers. Boom! All the target maps went up. And here we are today, 20 odd years later, reaping the seed that they sowed. Thank you. You want to carry on, guys, or?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay.
No, I've still got some points.
Yeah, let's keep going. Whilst I hold Nintendo very close to my heart, there is a certain amount of, dare I say, stale games coming out of that house recently. Certainly in terms of hardware and some of the software as well. When it comes to sticking at what they know best, Capcom know best of how to release quality games, be that in the arcade, anywhere. They know how to do it well. Just a few, I'm not going to go, I could be here all day talking about Capcom developed games, but just a few off the top of my head, he says, looking at his notes. We've got platformers, Mega Man, Ghosts and Goblins, DuckTales, Strider, we've got action RPGs, we've got the Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, Zelda, we've got the Minish Cap, we've got action games, we've got Onimushi, Devil May Cry, Beautiful Joe, Lost Planet, RPGs, Monster Hunter, we've got horror games, Resident Evil, Dead Rising, Dino Crisis, we've got... Do you mind? We've got beat 'em ups.
Sorry, getting a bit bored.
It's all right. It's not a problem. We've got beat 'em ups. We've got all the whole Street Fighter series, but it's not just Street Fighter. We've also got Power Stone. We've got Rival Schools. We've got puzzle games, Super Puzzle Fighter. We've got all these sports games at the arcade. Capcom were the first people to bring the soccer games and golf games to the arcade. We've got all the licensing, the official licensing. Disney back in the day. Who did they give the rights to their movies to and their likenesses to? Did they give it to Nintendo? No, they didn't. They gave it to Capcom because they know that they can trust them. Like when you see that Capcom logo come on when you first power up your game, you know that this is going to be quality. Over to you.
So I see that Capcom logo appearing on my screen, and I also know that I'm going to be paying for content that's already on the disc. So let's talk about BioWare's credentials. Obviously, we're not as dipping in as many different places, but we make specialised games that RPGs, they're just good at what they do. So we got Baldur's Gate 1, Baldur's Gate 2, Neverwinter. We've got Jade Empire, which is a little niche, but it is a pretty awesome series. Obviously me, Mass Effect, big fan. Dragon Age, Star Wars The Old Republic, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Come on, that is an impressive resume of games, all of which high quality and all of which are pretty damn awesome. Which can't be said for all of the Nintendo stuff, because there's not some great ones there. I love my Wii Maker.
Yeah. BioWare, they're a pretty good choice if you only ever want to play one type of game for the rest of your life. Now, Nintendo, massive breadth of gaming experience. But I'm going to pick out one game as why Nintendo are the best developer, and it's called Mario Sunshine. Now, this game, for me, epitomises the tightest control scheme that's ever been created in a game. It's absolutely flawless. The worlds, the way everything interacts with each other, the pacing, the movement, the control, the graphics, the music. You could take any 5 minutes of Mario Sunshine and put it forward in a thesis of the perfect game ever made. And they have plenty and plenty of examples of doing that throughout the years. Again, the second time, game over, guys.
Thanks, Driz. You mentioned Mario Sunshine. I would have thought that Mario Galaxy would have been higher up, not Mario Sunshine. But if that's what we're going with, Mario Sunshine.
I meant Mario Galaxy.
No, it's not that memorable then. It's because they all blend into one after a while. Anyway, sorry, just a very quick one. I've got lots of notes here, but I'm just going to turn my phone off for a second. Based on what Sarah was saying about the Capcom logo, and you can expect to be paying for the things that are already on the disc, aren't BioWare owned by EA? No further questions.
See, I knew this was going to come out here. Yes, BioWare are owned by EA, and yes, I was a little scared by the move. But so far, I think with the example, with Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, the Old Republic stuff, Dragon Age 1, 2, and 3, I think the resume's been okay. Yes, okay. They have.
You're alright. Do you want a glass of water?
No, I'm good. I don't need to, because when it comes to DLC, BioWare aren't churning out outfits for characters. They're not churning out stuff that you have to pay £3 for stuff that is on the disc. Okay, yes, there was a slight incident with Mass Effect 3, but BioWare have stated they're not doing that ever again, which is kind of cool. But in the contents of DLC, they actually make stuff that's worth playing. They make big, massive story arcs, stuff that, is not complete without... your game's not complete without them, really, I don't think, anyway. So if you want somebody that actually creates stuff that gamers want, gamers need, it's BioWare, man. They care about increasing the story for their already awesome RPGs, which, Capcom, we need more outfits for our fighters, right? And Nintendo. I've always wanted to play as Link in a racing game.
Boom! Very good, Sarah. Very good. Right. One of the reasons I chose Nintendo is because basically it has more entries in my personal top 20 than any other developer. And I challenge you to deny that that's probably going to be the case across the board. Any lists that are made by magazines or websites or fan bases and stuff will bear this out. In their top 40 or 50 games, Nintendo will come out the strongest in terms of point allocation, etc. So I'm just dealing with facts. Nintendo number one. Thanks. What nostalgia.
Thank you, Driz. I'm not going to be too harsh on Nintendo. Very close to my heart. But let's talk about revolutions. Nintendo have been churning out the same thing over and over again for quite some time, and BioWare are still doing it, and certain people are still buying it. But anyway, let's talk about revolutions. Let's talk about the way that Capcom revolutionised control input with button and joystick controls for beat-em-ups, which really didn't exist. Well, did exist in the arcade, but brought them to the home console, so you can start doing all of your Dragon Balls and all that shenanigans.
Against Nintendo's contribution towards.
So I thought I was doing the talk when you stood. I thought when you stood here, you did the talking. But no, it's cool. No, it's cool. No, it's cool. Save it. Write it down. You remember it, and you're next up. Also, in terms of niche classics, things that were on a console that was thought to be kiddie. The GameCube was thought to be kiddie, but then Capcom bring out things like Killer 7, the Wii U. They brought out Zack and Wiki with a whole new control scheme for opening, using spanners and all that sort of thing. They brought out Steel Battalion on the Xbox with a massive controller. Granted, it costed a fortune, but which other developer would have the balls to come out and bring something like that out? Also, you've got whole new genres created by these people. The Ace Attorney, Phoenix Knight series. It's just they just blow people away with it in innovative styles. Yes, they've got the beat 'em up roots, but they've also got the shoot 'em up roots as well. When you look at 1942 on the arcade, you've got UN Squadron, you've got all manner of different genres that Capcom are at the pinnacle at. Granted, they might not be anywhere near Mario in terms of platforming, but when you look at things like Mega Man, Ghosts and Goblins, and all that sort of thing, there's not a lot in it. Anyway, over to you, Sarah. Let's talk more about Bioware.
Enough about Bioware. So Capcom, jack of all trades, master of none, right? So you want your RPG stuff, right? If you're me, I'm a big RPG fan. I don't know if you've ever gathered that with all the talk I've done about it before, but I want Bioware as a company make the best RPGs, Western RPGs, ever, really. Anything with player choice, anything with adaptation, anything where you can alter the paths and stuff. I don't like my gaming to be fixed. I like my gaming to be always moving. And that's why Bioware make it up there for me, because every time they release something, I get pretty much most of control how I want things to be. Have character, what type of character I want to play as, what do I want to do with the story, which characters do I want to annoy, which characters do I want to be my friends. When you're gaming, and that's what you game for, like myself, then there is no better company to do that. I don't need to trash talk Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I don't need to trash talk Capcom. They're all right. But it's whatever's close to your heart at the end of the day. And for me, that's Bioware and their RPGs.
Yeah, I gotta say I agree with Sarah. Actually, I love Capcom, and I love Bioware. And I love Nintendo. They're all amazing. That's why we're up here talking about them. The reason I chose to go with Nintendo was because they keep a certain mystique about their releases. You'll not get any episodic releases or one yearly, update with Nintendo. I don't know if that's true about things like Super Smash Brothers. In fact, actually,
Mario Kart.
Right, they're not yearly, are they?
Not yearly, no.
Yeah, but you know when something's coming, it's not it's not a cash cow. It's something that's been crafted. It's something that you're not going to get and think, well, this isn't even finished. I'm going to have to wait for an update. I think the fact that all their games keep their resale value is that's because they always last the test of time because they're play tested death. They're so mechanically perfect. So it's their commitment to delivering finished, mature concepts, not mature in content, but mature in they're not rushing things out the door early. That's why I go with Nintendo. I know if I'm going to buy a Nintendo game, I will be getting a proper polished game. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dwayne. Very noble of you to acknowledge us all. Just a few points that I didn't mention earlier, where Capcom were probably one of the first or the most famous for female protagonists: Jill Valentine, Chun-Li, Sakura, Morrigan. Music in games, Mega Man 2 soundtrack is still absolutely fantastic and a brilliant way to concentrate when you're trying to do something. We've also got the crossovers in the arcade and on the home consoles, all the X-Men and Marvel versus Street Fighter, the SNK versus Street Fighter characters, Tekken versus Street Fighter. There's so many new ways that they can reinvent. Yeah, granted, they do bring out games quite often. They do, but the reason for that is because people buy them because they know that they're quality. When you hear and see that Capcom logo appear on your screen, you know that you're going to be in for a good time. Sarah, wrap it up.
So the last thing I wanted to say about why Bioware is such an awesome company is the interaction with their fans and how much they actually value their input on their games. So for example, Mass Effect 3, everybody knows that the ending was a little controversial. So there was a big outcry about fans wanting to, a bit more closure on it. So what did BioWare do? They made an extra cut DLC that brought out more closure to the game. So this is why I think they're a really good company, and that they actually listen to their fans and they take into account what they want. They released a Citadel DLC because people wanted more interaction with the characters. Things like the Star Wars, they wanted the Star Wars to come back as like a new MMO thing, and they brought in characters from other things. Revan's back in it, if you're a big fan like myself. So I think it's a company that actually care about their community, which when you go as deep into these kind of role-playing games as some people go, it's quite a major thing. So I'm going to end on that and say, for a company you want that has that much love for their fans, it's BioWare, and that's why I love them back.
Fantastic. Okay, come up, guys. So we want you to let us know in the comments who you thought won, BioWare, Nintendo or Capcom. Just want to say thank you to all three for bringing us years and years of entertainment.
Definitely.
Remember to subscribe, and we're going to be back every Wednesday. Game on.